Hi, it's Connie Erickson. Let me get right into it today. I had someone come into my office this week after he had an argument with his wife about a seemingly little thing. Literally, they argued about how to boil water. He said, Connie, I don't understand why I let such a little thing bother me, and then why we were arguing about it. Should I have just let it go? I'll get to my answer in a minute, but it reminded me that a lot of partners I see with communication issues fall into two categories. The first category, they don't let anything go. So if they see their partner loading the dishwasher wrong or boiling water wrong, apparently, they immediately have to tell them about it. And then the second category is they let everything go. They don't say anything. The first has its obvious flaws. You don't need to constantly remind your partner of everything they do that bugs you. The second seems like a reasonable thing. It's little. I'm just going to let it roll. It seems reasonable, except that it isn't. You let it go, but inside it still bugs you, and then the next thing bugs you, and pretty soon you're blowing up or are super distant from your partner, and they don't know what the heck happened. Author and meditation teacher Jeff Warren calls this the waxy buildup. You let things irritate you until it just builds up, and pretty soon you just hate the way your partner even breathes. I've always been an on again, off again meditator, and in recent months I've been on again. And in my meditation practice, I learned a new word, equanimity. And the dictionary defines it as mental calmness, composure, and evenness of temper, especially in a difficult situation. The guy I mentioned earlier, Jeff Warren, he calls it the insanely brave capacity to stay open and available when things get intense. He says to practice, he likes to get into a feeling of easygoingness, a feeling that everything, every emotion is welcome. To practice equanimity, he suggests imagining a tree or a mountain and noticing how rooted and present it is, and then imagining that you are the mountain or the tree. I like that, but I like better it works for me better if you imagine you just being you, and each feeling, each annoyance, each hurt feeling is a wave. It builds, it washes, or sometimes crashes over you, and then it drifts away. So whether you're the mountain or the tree or you just being you, you're staying steady. It's the feeling that comes and goes. This is a good thing to practice in your mind with little annoyances almost daily. So you sit there and imagine these little annoyances like traffic or calling your insurance company or long lines, and then notice the annoyance rise, peak, and dissipate. So, okay, how does that relate to the boiling water? Okay, here you are. Your partner tells you that you're boiling water wrong. You're an adult. You've boiled water once or twice in your life without any help and without any untoward consequences. And now suddenly it's all wrong. You could lash out, or you could just let it roll. But there is a third way, and this is where your new equanimity muscle comes in. Your partner reprimands you, and you just stay with you. You notice you're just you being you, with your partner's comment, with your irritation, with your first reaction to either let it go or lash out. There you are, you just being you, with all of that, and you do nothing. You just notice. You notice your reaction. Maybe you feel it in your throat or your back or your neck, or maybe you even have the urge to make a fist. But there you are, just staying with it. You're that steady tree, or you're watching the irritation wave crash over you and wash back out to sea. But you just notice and do nothing. And in this way, once the wave has passed, you can choose what to do. And that's the third way. That's not letting it go, and it's not lashing out. Choosing what you want to do is very different than lashing out or just letting it go. And I actually think it's a much more difficult but much more effective way than either of those. You're respecting yourself, respecting your own feeling, So you can choose to let it go. After you notice and respect your own irritation, you can decide that it's probably not something that's going to affect your mood or your relationship moving forward. And you can decide not to say anything. If you choose that, make sure to tell yourself that if it keeps coming up, you will have enough respect for yourself and your relationship and enough courage to address it. And I say courage because it's really uncomfortable to address an issue calmly. It's much easier to freak out than it is to just address it calmly. Or after noticing the wave, and watching it go back out to sea, you identify, and this time with more distance, that your partner's comment made you feel small and childlike, as if you were being reprimanded. Then, with much more calmness and clarity, you can tell your partner, when you told me how to boil water, I was really angry. I felt small, and I want to feel like you're equal. Now, your partner might say, you're too sensitive, I didn't mean anything by it, but you can just stay there, steady and calm, and hold your ground. You can say something like, that may be, I might be too sensitive, but regardless, that's the way I feel, and I'd like to work together to find a better way. So that's it. That's the third way. Um, I hope this is really helpful to you, but I know it will be if you try it. So try it and get back to me. That's how we get rid of that waxy buildup. So today, I invite you to light a fire under yourself. Exercise your equanimity muscle and melt off some of that waxy buildup. Thanks a lot, and I will see you next week.